Hi, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. You may or may not know that September is National Preparedness Month, and what perfect timing, of course, because there's been a lot of extreme weather in the news lately. We're joined now by Bonnie Schneider. She's a meteorologist who is the author of Extreme Weather, a guide to surviving flash floods, hurricanes, heat waves, snowstorms, tsunamis, and other natural disasters. So a great time to chat with Bonnie. Thank you for being here today.
Jessa, thank you so much for having me.
We're glad to get some tips and tricks from you, and what a great book, because this is something that we're faced with regularly in this country and worldwide. So what really inspired you to write this book?
Well, really, I've been covering these natural disasters for years on television, and I found, looking at what's been happening, a lot of times people aren't prepared. Very basic information needs to get out there, so I decided to do something even more than that, and I created a comprehensive survival guide for every type of natural disaster that you can imagine. I interviewed people from all over the country that have not only dealt with these situations, but I spoke to experts in every aspect of it and what people can do to protect their homes, their families, and even their pets, and that's why I wrote the book.
Well, obviously, as weather gets more severe, it's more and more pertinent for people to be prepared. What do you think is one of the first things, kind of step one for somebody to make sure that they're prepared in advance?
Well, you know, in Wisconsin, obviously you deal with snowstorms in the winter, but also some hot summers and even thunderstorms that can cause power outages. So what can you do? Well, before the power outage happens, it's a good idea to have a generator. And I would have one well before the storm because you don't want to lose power and not have any options. Briggs & Stratton has a new generator. It's called the Q6500 Quiet Power Series Inverter Generator. And this one is different because it's 60% quieter than standard generators, so it won't disrupt your sleep, won't bother your neighbors. The Q6500 provides the power that you need for your appliances. So you'll keep the fridge going, the lights on, a sump pump working, and your cell phone chargers. That's key. It's $14.99. And always remember to keep the generator outside. Unfortunately, in Florida, I know there were some issues where people had a generator inside their home. Never, never, never. Always make sure Briggs & Stratton recommends outside. Don't even put it in the garage. You want to stay safe.
Great tips for folks, and some that might be counterintuitive. Let's talk a little bit about property. And when we're leading into a major storm, what are some good things to do that we can protect our property?
Well, I always recommend that people take pictures of every room in their home so they have that for their records. And of course, having insurance, having homeowners insurance for your home, having car insurance that could protect in case of natural disaster. And for this segment, I partnered with Esurance because they not only offer quality and affordable insurance, but they make it easier to get the claim settled quickly. And really, frankly, after a storm, that's what you need, something that's a little easier. So here's how it works. They can settle these claims using the online tools and smart technology, including predictive analytics and even aerial images. So if you're talking about a tree fell in my car, my car's underwater, they can use this technology to see it. Boy, does that make it easier, because it may waive the inspector from coming out and having to deal with that, so you can actually file the claim and get it settled through the mobile app. Anything that's easier is better.
Yeah, especially in a time of disaster, because there's enough going on. Any other tips to stay safe during the storm?
Yeah, I recommend having an emergency preparedness kit at home and in your car. I talk a lot about that in my book, Extreme Weather. Obviously, you want to make sure you have food and water. People wonder how much. I would say have enough for each family member for at least 3 days, and make sure everything is stable. If you have dry food that you can get to, have a manual can opener. Don't rely on a power can opener. That's, believe it or not, a simple thing that people forget. But you also want to make sure that you have a flashlight and a no-weather radio and keep them running. So how do you do that? Well, quality batteries is very important. You don't want to turn on that flashlight, it doesn't work. So Duracell, that's a brand you can trust for batteries, and here's why. These batteries last 10 years if they're stored properly. So let's say a couple years go by, you don't need them, and all of a sudden that storm hits and you need them. Well, the batteries you put away, they're going to work. Your flashlight will come on. It's a small thing, but if you're in the dark, boy, do you need that. So Duracell is actually, if you follow them on Twitter at Duracell, they're on the ground now in Florida because so many people are still without power, millions of people, and Duracell is helping them by not only going there in person, but they're providing free batteries for people with their power forward fleet, and that will help a lot. Free batteries, a place to charge your cell phone, free Wi-Fi, really important work that's being done because people are suffering.
Well, lots of great tips, both kind of big picture and some of those little details that you wouldn't remember. Where can we go for more information so that we can be prepared?
Tipsontv.com.
Great information. Well, again, thank you so much. This is Bonnie Schneider, meteorologist and author of Extreme Weather. It's been a pleasure having you today. Thanks for the info.
Thanks, Jessa.
Thank you for watching. We've got more Talk of the Town coming up after the break.